Hello, welcome to my podcast channel and also to the English series. In this series, I'm going to talk about anything interesting and new in the month. Maybe I'll share with you guys some interesting conversations that I've had, or maybe I'm going to give you some recommendations in terms of book or like YouTube videos or podcast episodes, things like that. I mean, anything new and interesting. Okay, this is like a mini report. Alright, so before I start, I just want to deeply apologize to some of you guys who was waiting for the May episode because I skipped it. There was a reason, but first of all, I just want to say sorry to you guys because I promised you to post this monthly, but I skipped 1 month. So So sorry for that. And now, let me talk about the reason. Last month, I was preparing for the IELTS test. At first, I wanted to balance between work and study, of course, but just 1 month before the test day, I realized that my performance, especially in writing and listening, were not as expected. That's the reason why I changed my plan to fully focus on the IELTS preparation last month. That's the reason why I didn't do much work or other things, podcast included. I'm so sorry one more time. And here I am with another episode talking about my June. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, of course, when I'm recording this episode, it's July, but let's talk about June first. The IELTS test is also something that I want to talk about. So a typical day of me preparing for the test would be like, I would study some writing lessons and then I will do the tests. At least one writing, one speaking, and one reading or listening. In some days when I didn't have so much work to do, I would do all tests. I mean listening, reading, speaking, and writing. So in a total of maybe 3 to 4 hours only for the test. After finishing the tests, I need to do some reflecting sessions as well. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong. Session. Okay. So in these reflecting sessions, I would do some things like why I got it wrong, why the correct answer is correct, what can I do next time to improve this, and are there any vocabulary or phrases that I can learn to improve, kind of like that. And it took me around 2 more hours. So around 4 to 6 hours a day studying and also some hours to do some work. And in the evening, I would go to the gym or some dancing practice with my friends. This is once again the reason why I didn't finish the last episode. Let's get back to the story. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. I took the test once in 2021 and I scored 7. I used that result for my university graduation, and now I haven't had any plan to study abroad. So maybe some of you guys might wonder why I take the test this time when I maybe have no reason for that. Let me tell you, even when you don't ask, I'll still tell you. Okay, I don't know if you know, but I mentioned this in one episode, as I recall, the March episode, the English one. So I told you that I wanted to become an English teacher for various reasons. Maybe you should come back and listen to the episode, the March episode, for more details. Now I'm just making it quick. Long story short, I want to become an English teacher. And I need various certificates, including the IELTS, to do that. That's the first and most important reason. One more reason, which is kind of weird, but you know what? I really like science and also psychology. This is to say that out of so many tests available, I'm really keen on the format of the IELTS test, especially when I do the reading tests. And also, I believe that the topics in speaking part 3 and writing task 2 are things that I really love discussing about. I have a friend. Anytime we meet each other, we'll talk about some things like fast fashion, sustainability, or environmental issues, kind of like that. So, anytime I take the test, I can practice my language skills, of course, and also I can expand my own horizons. That's why I really like the test. So these are the reasons why I want to retake the IELTS test. And of course, the first one is the most important one. When I want to start classes, I need to, show my students that, okay, I have the ability to teach you. I know that I need to have some other certificates, or I need to be trained to become a teacher as well. I'm on my way to do that, but I strongly believe that the IELTS certificate is one of them, okay? Let's talk about my journey this time. As I told you before, I scored 7 last time, and my target this time is 8. Okay, though it's just 1 point difference from, 7 to 8. To me, it's really hard. I mean, I have been working so hard, and thank God I made it. I set a target 2 years ago, but last year I didn't make it. It's not that I took the test and I failed it. I didn't take it because I deeply acknowledge that my ability was not enough for scoring 8 last year. That's why, though I put in my last year to-do list that I wanted to score 8, I didn't make it. So now I'm so extremely happy to score 8 this time. Okay, of course, in the future, I will try even more to develop my language skills because, for your information, I really love English. But at least at this moment, let me celebrate, how can I say it, the biggest achievement I have ever had regarding studying English. Yeah, so I'm so freaking happy this time. Okay? I will share my study journey and tips on my YouTube channel in case you need it. Okay, so this is the first time I mentioned my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Annie's here, and I'm about to make more English content on it, so please stay tuned. Alright? So as I told you, I'm gonna post a video about my journey, but I wanna share with you one thing, which is a book to study writing. The book's name is IELTS Writing Journey, Elevate to Band 8 of Bùi Thành Việt. Even though he's a Vietnamese author, the book is in English, and the language is really easy to understand. In this book, the author suggests what you can do for all writing tasks, from task 1 to task 2, how to generate ideas, what are the useful language that you can use, and there were also some practice tests for you. I mean, the book is so well written, and I'm not really good at this, but it's a worth reading piece of writing. If you are around 6 and want to get a higher band score, maybe you should read it. I'm gonna put the link in the description. I don't receive any money from him to promote the book. I just recommend to you because it's a part of this podcast episode. Okay, recommendation. So talking about recommendations and also talking about books, I have just read a book named I'm Glad My Mom Died by Janet Marcuddy. The title is kind of weird, but it's a very interesting book as well. Let's talk a little bit about the context, why I read this book. For your information, my family has always been my priority, but the older I got, the more I realized that there were many families in which, bad things happen. Even some sexual abuse from parents to their children. So, I decided to read some books on family topics so that I can discover more dark sides, So at first I decided to read the book Toxic Parents. From reading that book, I've gained many more ideas about the toxic relationships taking place in some families. After that book, I asked some of my friends to suggest me some books about, psychology and especially books about families. Then my friend introduced me to the book that I've told you, I'm Glad My Mom Died, by Janet Marcuti. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but yeah, it's Mckurdy. Marcuti. Okay, hopefully it's right. This book is an autobiographical. Is it a right word? I mean, it's a story about the author's life. Okay, I won't spoil the content of the book, of course, but I'm gonna give you a brief introduction. The book tells a story about the author from her childhood to the day she's an adult, about the things that her mom did to her in the past that made her have not only mental health problems but also eating disorders as an adult. I have learned so many things about eating disorders and also how painful it is and childhood trauma. So it's informative and funny at the same time. It's hard to give a review to a book without spoiling that. So yeah, I can just tell you those kind of things. If you like reading autobiographical content, you need to check this book out. I'm gonna put the link in the description as well. Okay? Is there anything else I want to say? Making an English episode is really difficult because even though in Vietnamese, I found it really hard to talk to myself like this and keep the pace of the conversation without other people. So, yeah. It's hard to do this in the other language, so if I made any mistakes, please forgive me. Before I end this podcast, I just want to ask you for some book or course recommendations. I mean, when it comes to book, you can suggest me anything that you like. You don't need to care about the topic. And talking about courses, maybe if you know some courses about psychology or pedagogy, I mean English teaching, maybe you can suggest me. I'm gonna be so grateful for that. So yeah, that's everything about today's episode. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really appreciate that. If you are listening in the morning or in the afternoon, I wish you a great day ahead. And if you're listening in the evening or at night, I wish you a good night. Alright. Thank you so much one more time and hope to see you. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.